I'm the Director of E-commerce at Silver Jeans Co., and we're a Canadian-based jean retailer. We do about $250 million in sales annually, but that's also through our wholesale. We've got a e-commerce division, and I want to talk to you about some of the changes that we've made and how we developed an e-commerce strategy since we started. I guess the session is called "The Multi-Channel Merchant Find Its Email Groove," which is an interesting title. I didn't come up with it myself. And that's me, Mike G. Girardin. I usually use my middle initial. So we'll start off by why is an email strategy important? So who here is currently using email as a way to drive sales? Okay, so a good part of the route. And who is generating over half their sales through email? Okay, so with my peers and others that I've talked to in the industry, and even places that I've come from, worked for, and consulted for in the past, typically 20 to 80% of your sales should be coming through email, depending on the vertical that you're in. A lot of times, if you've got a brick and mortar operation as well, and you can, you're a true multi-channel with a brick and mortar operation, gaining those email addresses through your stores, you can easily be getting 60-70% of your sales through email. So as Chris said, we went from 0.5% to 22%, and that was a net gain. So that wasn't just us taking from somewhere else, taken out of another bucket and attributing it to that extra 21.5% was all growth. So email is still the most effective channel as far as my experience goes, and that of my peers in how to drive traffic. It's the best and most underused, I would say. Everywhere I start at, it's the first thing I look at is what are you doing in your email channel. Admittedly, I could even be doing better myself on this. There's a lot of things that we need to improve on and do yet, but we've got a good consistent email strategy going on right now. It's amongst the highest converting. It's got the highest ROI of your paid channels, if you consider it paid channel. I'm talking like paid channel because it costs you, of course, money on a CPM to send out emails, but it's not costing you, necessarily the same way that AdWords would cost you, and it's the easiest to manage. So, in this Ascend to survey that I got up there, they asked, I guess it was several hundred e-commerce managers and people that do similar stuff to me, what is your most effective channel and what is the easiest to manage? And you can see that email is by far the most effective, and it's also the easiest to manage. So developing the strategy. So first you want to look at the variety of emails you send, and there's a lot of different types of emails that you can send. A welcome series is a good way to start getting people signed up on your even if it's just one single email where you incentivize the signing up of your email. So in our case, we offer 15% off to new customers who sign up, which is a good value to us, and we'll get into that later. You want to follow up with some abandoned cart emails once you've got them signed up. Product recommendation emails, and there's a number of different ways that you can go about doing that. Right now, Bronto has just released something new called Predictor, which can help you with that if you happen to be on Bronto. There's abandoned site emails that can be done, birthday emails, so you can collect their birthday and send it out once a month if you just want it to be a little bit easier to manage than sending it out on every single day of the year. New product alerts, promotional and other sorts of, so promotional, your sales. When you're running a promotion, a sale, free shipping, whatever you're doing, those tend to be very effective and triggered, different types of triggered emails. So abandoned site and abandoned cart are a couple types of triggered emails. There's other ones available out there. So the next important part of kind of bringing it all together is finding the right ESP to bring everything together. So some of the things that you're going to want to consider here is and one of the things that I undertake, and I've worked with a lot of different ESPs, is what features are offered, what kind of workflow processes can you build into it, what kind of third-party add-ons are available, and us all being on Magento, does it have Magento integration, what kind of stats of analysis, how easy is it to use, what kind of segmentation can you do, A/B testing, and just about everyone has A/B testing, but if it doesn't, then avoid it. Integrated forms, and then you're going to have budgetary concerns. For my purposes, we chose Bronto. It had all the features, all the things that we needed, and it served very well for us. We've got a good working relationship with Bronto. Our account managers have been very responsive. So that's what we chose ourselves. Like I said, it had everything that we needed, and I've used many different ESPs over the years, and so far I've been very happy with our choice on this one. So fine-tuning the strategy. So now we'll get into, after you've chosen your ESP, after you've decided on what types of emails, and now you're starting to implement your strategy, what type of things should you be doing to make sure that you're getting the most out of your email strategy. So one is to maintain a strong mailing list. So one of the things Chris mentioned up front is, our hygiene, our list hygiene. So you want to incentivize your subscription. So as I mentioned before, you can do something like 15%, 10% off, or if you want to offer free shipping on one, or offer a free gift, or something like that, something else like that. You're going to have to test and see what works for your customers. But and for us, an email subscriber to our list is worth anywhere between $3 and $5 for every new one that we add. So. And if they happen to use that 15% coupon, they're worth even more. Then they're worth $30 down the line, lifetime value of a customer. So it works really well. Remove your non-engaged subscribers. So have a look at your list, or have it rolling through, and you can set this up through workflows in your ESP. When somebody hasn't opened an email or even looked at an email in 6 months, stop sending to them. One of the reasons for this is because you're going to hit less spam filters that way. So the more emails that are going out and people aren't reading, or they possibly ending up in their spam filters, or if they're just bouncing, that's causing you issues. It's making the rest of your emails less deliverable. It also will save you money because, of course, you're not using all the CPMs that you need to be. If you happen to be in Canada, it actually helps with CASL compliance, which is a rule that we have up there about spam, and if people are getting emails that they shouldn't be, and it can result in a $1 million fine. So it'll actually help reduce the chances of that ever happening. Segment your audience and customize the experience. Before I go into that, run re-engagement campaigns. So with the non-engaged customers, before you completely remove them, run a re-engagement campaign. See if there's something that you can do to incentivize them to get back onto your list. If you can't, then you've lost them, and let them go. But just as an example, at one point we had literally slashed our email list in half, and it actually resulted in more sales. So, we got rid of everybody that wasn't opening. As a result, we had more emails that were being opened because they were less likely to hit spam filters, and we were actually doing more sales because of that. So if typically you're going to want to be reducing your list. If you're seeing 2 to 3% a month where you're reducing your list, that's probably that's probably right about where you need to be. So if you've had a list that you've been using for 2 years without cleaning it up, and you have to pull off 24 to 36% of your list, you're doing okay. I wouldn't worry about slashing that many. That's totally normal. So segment your audience and customize the experience. Make sure that you're sending the relevant emails to the people who want to receive them. So if you've got statistics on, for example, here we collect, who's interested in women's or women's plus or men's. We'll send women's emails to just women or men's emails to just men. Sometimes we'll send the men's emails to women because a lot of women tend to buy husbands or boyfriends, but men almost never buy for their girlfriends or wives. And then there's different types of segmentation you can do too. If you want to offer incentives, maybe higher promotions to people that are less likely to open or less likely to buy and things like that. So you can get a lot more complicated with it. Gather preferences and collect that data, so as you see up there. And so how often and when do I send? Consider the frequency of how much you want to send. Triggered versus scheduled emails. Triggered are when they happen automatically. Scheduled are things that you're going to do on a regular basis. Consider the time of day when you send, and then follow-ups to emails that you send. So if, a lot of times you might be having a sale over the weekend. Then on the first send, you send out to your whole list. The second send, you just send to people who didn't convert, so you're not causing fatigue. A note about frequency. For the most part, your customer is probably a lot more tolerant of emails than you think they are. At first I thought, sending 4 emails a week, that's ludicrous. People are going to get tired and they're all going to unsubscribe from our list. We just keep pushing it, and if you're not running anything now, you want to ease them into it. But in our vertical, some of our competitors are sending out 8 emails a week. We usually only send 3 or 4 a week, but test it, experiment with it, and then figure out how much attribution is a detriment to your campaigns, because I guarantee you your customer or your target audience is way more tolerant of getting emails. They want to hear from you. They've signed up because they want to hear from you, right? So if they don't want to hear from you, they're probably not going to buy through email anyway. But the ones that signed up, it's because they actually want to hear from you. So keeping in constant contact with them is actually a lot better than very seldom emails, because what happens with few emails is you're out of sight, so you're out of mind. They don't care anymore, and then when you do send it, they just usually discount it. So keep it relevant. So be consistent in the types of emails that you send. So don't jar them with like very totally off-brand messages. If you're running sort of a campaign, stay consistent with the campaign, but also keep it fresh. So don't send them the same product 3 days in a row. If you are going to be sending 3 to 4 or 5 days in a row, send one that's a men's email, one that's a women's email, send one that's a promo, send them a coupon, send them a card. Just send them a hello, we love you as a customer, and we just wanted to say so. And then make use of add-ons and tools. So, whatever ESP you choose should have the ability for add-ons and tools. Here's a selection of different things that you can find within Bronto, things like Coupon Manager. Coupon Manager allows you to use unique codes, then you can create bounce back codes. So if you're sending out a welcome email and all you're sending is welcome 15 to everyone, guaranteed that coupon code's going to end up on Retail Me Not, and then it negates the point of even having a welcome email, right? So, use something of a coupon manager and send out unique codes to all your customers. Pop-up managers help with the coupon manager to provide instant coupons, and it helps you keep a fresh email pop-up, sign-up pop-up on your site. Product recommendations is another one. So you can go with a third-party type thing like we use My Buys, but I think, or actually they're called Magnetic now, but there's also other things like Bronto's got a nice one that's called Predictor that'll allow you to do the same thing. So just kind of figure out what you need and find the right one for doing that. Social media integration. Again, that's something we use Ad Shoppers for doing a lot of our social media integration. They have third-party apps available for Bronto. There's and then there's also things like with the Facebook segments and everything else that you can do within there. So that's pretty important. And then CRM integration. So if you're using some kind of CRM, whether it be Salesforce or Oro CRM, you want to look and see if there's tools that you can integrate that into there too, because that being able to track your emails that way is very beneficial. So what's next then? After you've kind of been doing all those things. So continuously be on the lookout for new trends in email and what others are doing. Sign up to your competitors' email lists and pay attention to what they're doing. Sign up to people outside your vertical so that you can keep it fresh, keep fresh ideas. Because if all you're ever looking at is people that are inside your vertical, you're probably just copying, and they're just copying someone else, and you never get any fresh ideas. So if you want, it's kind of like one time I was at another conference, and I was selling pet insurance at the time online, and one of the most beneficial things that I took out of that conference, I actually learned from a couple guys who were selling crawfish online. So you never know where the next idea is going to come from, and it really there's these e-commerce techniques and things that easily apply across verticals. So always keep lookout for the fresh things. Keep building that list and keep cleaning that list and keep your list fresh. Keep tweaking and segmenting. A/B testing, as I said, it's an important thing to have. And if it's not in your ESP, then stay away from that ESP. Go get another ESP. Keep watching the analytics, seeing what works, what doesn't work, what people are responding to, what conversion rates are coming up, and then just keep testing for what works. So thanks.